What's up, AfterBuzzers and Siesta Key fans? We are here talking about Season 3, Episode 2, and boy, did it not disappoint. Bows were thrown. Juliette and Chloe's relationship might be over once and for all. And is Brandon really, really jealous about this whole Ish thing, and that's why he's with Amanda? We can't wait to discuss all that and more right after this.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, guys?
Woo! What's up?
Man, are we fired up?
Oh, so fired up. Oh my gosh.
That episode, boy oh boy. I cannot wait to get into it. But before we do, we want to introduce our lovely panel. It is going to be the three of us this season. Ebone, what's going on?
Hello, how are you?
Good. I'm so excited to have you on this panel.
I know. You guys, I missed last week, but I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, it's going to be quite the season, as we can kind of see.
Oh, yeah.
DJ Beaulieu.
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to be back. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
A lot to break down.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm like freaking out. But
hey guys,
we'll get into it.
Nasta here, and we're going to bring you all of the tea that we want to discuss this episode because it was crazy. Clearly, our overall thoughts were just like, what? Crazy fights, drama, all that good stuff. But let's kick it off with the whole Madison and Ish situation. Okay, the more I'm watching this, I'm like, is this real? Like, I don't know, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. The way that they are, they're not really, like, kissy or lovey or whatever. Do you think it's just because the cameras are on them?
You know what, to be honest, like, I gotta be honest, I find it really awkward between them.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's more like a father-daughter type of relationship, you know?
Which is weird.
I feel, and it's interesting because you know how, I know I'm that way personally, like, I find the most interesting guys that remind me of, like, my dad in some ways, like, you know, like that father figure type and stuff, and I feel like that's what Madison is, that's how she, like, approaches certain guys anyway, or most guys, and I see that with Ish, like, I feel like he kind of reminds her of her own dad in a weird way.
Yeah, and I think that, like, it's really interesting that her dad literally straight out was like, I don't approve of this, and he brought up some valid points.
Yeah. Completely valid. First of all, I have to say that, like, I think the age difference is very weird. I think that her dad has, I think the exact same way her dad does. Like, I do think he's too old. And when he brought up, he was like, he's going to be so old when you're 39. And she's like, we're not thinking about that. And I was like, but you should be thinking about that, because I think about that. Like, if I like older men, then if you're 36 and I'm whatever 24, then when I'm your age, like, you're not gonna be able to take care of our kids. Your knees and back are gonna be out. I'm gonna have to wheel you around in a wheelchair. Like, I don't know. You should be thinking about that. Yeah. Like, I want you to be up here with the kids too, not making me do all the work.
Right. To be honest, he does look older than 46, but I mean.
Yeah, and it's like, obviously, I'm like, okay, love who you want to love, but at the same time, she is so young and has so much more to explore in her life. And also, one of my biggest pet peeves is, like, he's leaving for 6 months or so. So it's like, you're just now getting into this relationship that's only, 5 to 7 months strong based on the stories that her and Brandon were talking about. So then he's going to leave for 6 months. It's like, why? I don't know. It's like, is it that strong of a relationship that you guys are ready to go in a long distance?
They're so unbalanced too. Like, they're in such two different places in their life. Like, Ish obviously has a job. Like, he has to work. He has blah. Like, Madison is just like, oh, I'm home for the summer. Yay, from acting classes. And I haven't booked anything yet. But, oh my gosh, it's so great in LA. And it's like, they're like, she's trying to get it together and he has it together. Like, it's completely opposite. And I don't know, like, even where Madison's head's at, because she was, like, doing engineering and now she, like, switched her career to, like, acting, which is such a difficult field to get into.
Yeah.
And I think you need to be in LA getting jobs, booking jobs, instead of being in Siesta Key for a summer. I don't know. Just saying.
The age difference is definitely one thing, but the fact that their lives are just so different, you know? He's obviously way grown and way more experienced, and his job also is just seems pretty demanding. So I'm not even sure if it's really worth, I don't know what she's doing. I feel like it's more so she's kind of like in her feelings or whatever and wants somebody serious and mature, but I think she went overboard with it.
I think that's what it is, because what it is, because she went from all these, like, you know, she kind of hopped from relationship to relationship. And I think that, like, you know, obviously with the whole Ben situation, that ended abruptly. And then she kind of jumped back with Brandon. And I think that she sees stability in Ish, which I could understand. But the only thing that kind of frustrates me is it's like, okay, so you did long distance with Ben. That didn't work out. And then clearly, like, the Brandon thing, he's burned you once, so, like, okay, that's easy to write off. But, like, now Ish, we're doing long distance again. It's like, I want her to be able to, like, revel in a relationship and have it be, like, happy like everybody else and have them always there. And, you know, I just feel like she never really gets that, like, happy relationship that we're all, like, praying for her to be in.
But I mean, I do think that, like, sometimes distance does make the heart grow fonder. So,
Yeah,
like,
that's
maybe
true.
like not being together all the time is great. But at the same time, I'm just like, girl, 6 months, you have money. You can't go visit him in Canada. That's what I'm
true.
just like, I don't understand. Oh, it's not gonna be 6 months till I see you. Go visit him.
Yeah.
There you go. Like,
sure
you
she
try to make your relationship work. Like 6 months. Like, I wouldn't go 6 months without seeing my man. Like,
Yeah.
if I had one. But you know, like, seriously, I don't know. And I think like Ish came out of nowhere because Brandon, he was so immature. He did not have his mess together. He's like
No.
trying to be an artist, struggling. So it's like, and then you go to like Ish, and it's like complete opposite spectrum. So I
Right.
think it's like a huge shock because he just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And I think actually, like, since her and Brandon did kind of talk it out a little bit, which gave us a little bit of insight as to, like, how she kind of got to talking to Ish. Clearly, it was like when she went out there that she was like, hey, I'm here, kind of like that. I'm imagining that's how it started. Like, okay, so if she goes out to LA and she's like, hey, I'm here now, let's go get a drink or something. And then that's kind of where the relationship blossomed, if I could, you know, guess. Then she meets him and she goes from Brandon, who has burned her already, got out of that relationship with Ben, and then she sees this guy that's got a job, got stability. I think it is very intriguing.
And taking care of her, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe that's kind of where it all stemmed from. But I think, obviously, as an audience, we're kind of like, it's so abrupt because we didn't see any of this occur. And then all the things that you hear are like, he was the producer on season 1. And that's the only thing that kind of, like, reruns in your head.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to, like, kind of separate those two.
Yeah, because
But-
they don't give us any like backstory on Ish at all,
No.
like who he is as a
out of
person,
nowhere.
Right.
personality, nothing. So it's
Yeah.
like it is really hard. I mean, the only thing you're judging him on is that he's 46 and used to be the producer of the show.
Right.
Like the two things.
Right. So, and it's obviously... They do that for the ratings.
Right.
I feel
It's
like,
working.
Yeah, it's definitely working.
Definitely
Madison, just want her to be happy. But it is very interesting how this season, I feel like there's a little bit more of, like, strategic relationships, even just friendships this season than I feel like I've seen in the past. And one of them is this whole Brandon and Amanda situation. How are we feeling about that? Because they have tried, I'm using air quotes, tried it in the past. Do you think this is something that's kind of just like, okay, let's put them together since everybody else has somebody and just see what happens?
Definitely. Yeah, because, I mean, it's for that reason and also just rebounding and trying to probably get a rise out of Madison. Like, it's all strategic, definitely. And, you know, even Brandon said, he was just like, well, I'm single and Amanda's the only other person single, so let's be single together. Like, you know, let's have fun. And Amanda's, you know, obviously feeding into it, like, oh, yeah, I'll keep you distracted. Yeah. I'm so spicy.
Right.
Like, let's get spicy together. Oh, my God, these cheesy lines, I can't. But... yeah, that's what they're all about this summer. So, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I know, 2 seasons ago, he was saying that, you know, he had that same interest. So maybe there is like that real spark in there because they tried it 2 seasons ago.
And remember 2 seasons ago, Chloe and Amanda were fighting over him. That was like the night that she broke her nose.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
They were
that.
fighting over Brandon.
Well, no, apparently they were fighting about, like, fast food or something in the back of the car, and then they, like, but they still both, like, kind of liked Brandon. I think it kind of was
Escalated,
maybe
yeah.
behind the anger.
But I think it's weird because Amanda, like, maybe she liked Brandon, like, because he's an attractive man. Like, he's cute. But she said that, you know, there's no spark. And, you know, because I feel Amanda's personality is very strong, very type A personality.
Yeah.
Brandon's more like the relaxed, chill type of man that's like, okay, I'm going to take my opportunities as they come. And maybe if the singer career goes great, then cool, I'm going to try to book a few gigs. But he doesn't have that ambition to me, to where he's like a go-getter. And
Yeah.
Amanda seems like a go-getter, tough girl. Like, okay, I want this, I'm going to go get it. So,
Yeah.
like, their personalities, even though opposites attract, that to me does not work. So, that I think Amanda was right to like not have the attraction to Brandon to begin with.
Yeah.
And Amanda also just like, where has she even been? Like, where was she? I'm sorry. Like, I saw her season 1, season 2, we barely saw her. And now she's just popped back on the scene. Girl, you're trying to get that check, which is fine. But like, I don't know. The storyline is a little like forced. We'll see.
Yeah. I don't think they could. I definitely don't see them ever being serious with one another because they would not like. Going off of what you said, I know Amanda wouldn't tolerate Brandon's, ridiculousness.
Shenanigans.
Exactly.
Well, considering we've seen, okay, so we cheated on Madison, season 1, season 2, Camila. That was kind of a wonky, he flirted with the singer that he was going on tour with, and then that kind of made her insecure. And then it's kind of like, where'd she go? Like obviously they broke up because then he wanted to get back with Madison. But maybe we've got some tea for you on that in some news and gossip. Alrighty, so moving on to our favorite crazy couple of this series is this whole Juliette and Robbie situation. I want to ask, how many times are they going to bring up this whole Rebella thing? Have you guys noticed? Like, I feel like they must have paid some sort of ad fee because they bring up his job title and the name of the company more times than you. And, like, they always are showing footage. So, like, do you guys think there's some sort of stake that they have in the show?
Totally. I mean, I work in integrated marketing, so it's like, this is perfect. That's exactly how you integrate some marketing right there. Just keep saying it. Just keep talking about his job. They show the footage of him on the beach at, the photo shoot. Yeah, it's like a constant recurring thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And I found it so interesting that the one thing that Robbie and Juliette seemed really excited about and talking about was the numbers of shared on likes on their photo.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, is this what relationships have come down to? How many likes can we get on our photo today?
And they literally said,
ridiculous.
They must like us because look how many shares we had. What?
It's so insane.
It's all for the gram. I'm telling you. That's one of the reasons why this relationship is just all for show and so fake, because it's all for the gram. It's all for his brand, which is big on Instagram.
Right.
So he's putting the name out there. I mean, that's just. I think
Juliette is kind of very superficial anyway. So I'm not surprised that they connect on that level of like, because he seems superficial as well. Like if they're talking about the likes and that's the most important thing of the topic of the day, that's what you want to talk about, then it's like you guys are both very, very shallow. So it's like you have to be using each other for some way or another. Like, like he has this company, he could make me a model, I can have money, be famous, whatever. Yeah. And he's like, oh, she's beautiful, oh, whatever, she's on the show, let me get on the show.
Yeah. It's exactly like what Chloe said. He's a clout chaser.
Yeah. But it's just so interesting because it's like they both kind of, I don't know, because Juliette likes what he says. Like those cheesy lines, if a guy said that to me, I'd be like,
right.
I'd be like, are you serious?
Like,
completely.
Come on.
This is what our relationship is about?
I'd be like,
likes on Instagram?
Right. If he's over here taking selfies on our date and telling me like, oh yeah, we need to take a picture, post me on the gram. Listen, that happened before and it didn't go well. Okay? So, no.
Yeah, but I mean, he's already throwing out the L word.
That had me weak.
So confused, guys. He threw that out so nonchalantly. He's like, but I love you.
And his face when he did it, he didn't even blink once. He's like, I love you.
But how do you guys feel about this? If this is someone saying I love you for the first time, because that seems like it was the first time he said it, doesn't seem like the most appropriate of times. And it wasn't like, I feel like usually when you say the L word, maybe people use it a lot more lately than I do. It's like a big deal. And this was just kind of like, I love you.
Yeah, like more in like a romantic setting. Like, take me to dinner first, romance me, buy me some flowers.
Not on camera.
But which is weird.
Yeah, tell me not on camera.
Right. But it's weird because, obviously, last episode, Robbie's kind of doing that whole taking her to dinner, buying her flowers thing. So you think he would have put that more in like a romantic spin. But it was weird how he just threw it out there like that. And then she was kind of like, ha.
But I love you too.
Exactly.
I mean, she said it back. But I think it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like that puppy dog, like middle school love that you're just like, oh, I have a crush on you. I have a crush on you too. Let's go together. It's like, okay, it's like it doesn't seem genuine.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's something definitely fishy. So like I can understand where Chloe and Amanda are coming from. Like something doesn't seem right. And also just like all the gifts, like bringing her a TV to the housewarming party. Like,
just,
what?
I'm like, really? She didn't have a TV this whole time? I'm like, okay.
Do I need to find a boyfriend like this? Like, you just buy me TVs, take me to Greece for a week? Shoot. I mean, I might want to use you for that a little bit too, right? I might want to be with Robbie too.
You know?
I mean, yeah, I guess if he's like just showering you with love and gifts and affection, I guess you're like, well, why not?
Yeah, sure.
But I guess, yeah, I don't know. It just, to me, it just seems, I don't know, it just seems a little fishy. But I mean, I just feel like I'm on Team Chloe for this one.
Oh,
sometimes I think she can be a little bit too much, but this one, I don't think she needs to be throwing it in Juliette's face as much as she is about how much they don't need to be together. Like, that's her that's her life. If you want to be with someone that you think that might be, you know, a clout chaser or whatever, then, like, go for it. But, like, I'm telling you, these are the signs. And that's something where I think that Chloe is going a little bit too far in, is that, like, she's pushing and pushing and pushing. Like, the comment she made about the TV, like, oh, it looks like he's trying to hide for something else.
Right.
That was kind of an unnecessary comment that you already know you're in her house. Like, you don't need to be totally jumping down her throat with this information. But at the same time, I don't think Juliette's right in getting so angry with her about what she's saying.
Yeah.
Can we talk about for a second, though, like how Chloe is in a friendship?
Yes.
Because I feel like Chloe, she may have good intentions and her intuition may be correct on a lot of things, right? My problem with her is the fact that she jumps ship way too often. If you're friends with Alex, then be friends with Alex. Stay loyal. Say your comments about how you feel he's not treating Juliette correctly and move on with your life.
Yeah.
Don't be so obsessed. Do not get involved. It's really none of your business. Because at the end of the day, like, now that you're over here, like, trying to friend Juliette, now it looks shady. To me, that looks shady.
Yeah.
If I start dating someone and now my best friend is his best friend, it's very weird to me.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now, like, I broke up with him. Now you're back. You know, like, why were you were talking so much mess about Alex.
Well, we said that, yeah.
Not friends with Alex anymore. And then, like, now that it does look fishy.
Yeah.
It looks fishy. And Chloe, pick a side. Are you going to be Juliette's friend? Are you going to be Alex's friend? Pick a side.
Yeah.
Like, you're a good, like, you know, and you have good intentions. Just pick a side. Be loyal.
Yeah.
Just no loyalty.
I was thinking about that too, because I was trying to figure out when they were talking about, especially when Chloe was trying to explain herself, I was thinking, because, you know, she was friends with Alex first, even before knowing Juliette. They were friends for a long time. So I felt like while Juliette and Alex were together, I felt like Chloe was kind of stuck in between being loyal to her longtime friend Alex, but then also watching Juliette going through what she went through with Alex. I felt like she was stuck between loyalty to Alex and then that girl code with Juliette, because, and it's tough.
Ebone saying no.
None of her business. It was none of her business. That is not your relationship.
But if you see somebody, because that could have been easily one of us, we're in a relationship, a toxic relationship, and our man's doing all these crazy things. And of course, Chloe is watching all this unfold. I mean, you would feel like you need to say something.
Check him. Check your friend, right? Check your friend and stay out of the mess. That's how I feel. I feel like check your friend. And if, let's say, he is cheating on her or whatever, and you feel like, girl, hey, I just want to let you know, like, Alex ain't the right dude. Like, he's cheating on you. I just want to let you know. But back up away. Do not become friends. I think that's my problem. You became like, oh, I'm going to protect you, and we're no more Alex. And then it was like, you know, then
now
it's
I'm
like,
friends with
now
Alex.
I'm friends with Alex again after you were just talking so much. So then that's where, like, I'm like, you're not loyal.
Yeah.
Like, say your piece and back away.
But my thing too, I think that's where I'm like going through the confusion of like, okay, somewhat like obviously this is a reality TV show, so like where is the production coming into play? Like obviously like we know a lot of these things probably are like put in there for reasons, but in my head I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out like what is that? Like, is this Chloe's role of the show? Or is she really just like friends with Alex again? Or are they just saying that she's friends with Alex again? Like, that's where I'm struggling, because it's like I'm trying to look at them as like, you know, like zoom out and be like, okay, what are these friendships and like who's actually real and whatever. But then I'm like, I give up. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, we can go like back and forth trying to figure it all out, because I feel like it has a lot to do with, just actual involvement of production and then actual real relationships. And what I like, and I remember mentioning this last season too, is I like the fact that Chloe, in a way, is in everybody's business. Yeah, I mean, she goes about it, very
shadily. But she
shadily.
is real. She doesn't lie.
She is real, and that's the thing. I feel like for audience, it's good for us because we need that person to be like, yo, let me just like call you out on your garbage and, you know, instigate some things because, you know.
I think also, sorry, I think what also confuses me is the fact that they're very tricky on social media because then like you see them fighting and then literally the next day they're all like friends hanging out and doing things together. So it's like you're kind of like what's real and what's not. And like I can see them kind of joking about things. But I don't know. Say you wanted to say something.
No. I know. I'm in agreement. I think I said Chloe. Her instincts are not wrong. She does say how she feels, which is wonderful. But have a side. Like if I have a best friend, like my best friend, her name is Dana. I'm gonna have Dana's back no matter what.
Right.
So I don't care who she's dating. I'm not gonna be best friends with that person. If she gets a new friend, I'm not gonna become besties with that person.
Right.
Like Dana's my girl.
Yeah.
So it's like. If any, you know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to have a side. You have to have a side.
I get it. No, I totally agree. And
but
like,
is it different if your best friend is a guy and then because I feel like it's just like I'm torn between your loyalties to your longtime guy friend. And then girl code, you know? I understand if your best friend is a girl, then it's just like, okay, like I definitely side with her, like in all areas, girl code, and that's your friend. But then it's just like, you know, when I'm in Chloe's position, I'm thinking like, man, I'm seeing this girl, she's like my age or whatever, she's getting hurt, she's crying like literally every day. This guy who I know so well, who does these things, is breaking her heart.
Yeah, like I've seen him cheat on every single girl. So, So she did kind of like be that girl to be like, yo, you need to step back. But Juliette didn't want, that's the thing too, is sometimes Juliette doesn't want to hear what she has to say.
That's true.
So then that's what like kind of makes them clash because they're both not listening to each other. And then they both are just like, whoa, whatever. And then it blows up.
But I mean, imagine if someone came to you about your man. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, hey, I just want to let you know your man ain't ish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, you would be like, excuse me, like, you know, you'd be trying to defend your relationship because at the end of the day, that makes you look stupid if your man's out here cheating on you.
Right. Well, and I think in this exact case, I think that Juliette is so tired of her friends constantly not liking her relationships. And this being someone who she thinks is like in the outside circle that she's bringing in, I can understand her frustrations with having someone constantly be like, this person isn't good enough for you. Like I said, say your piece and then leave them the information and let them do what they want because you don't know the facts yet. They will figure it out, but it's not your job to handhold them into the truth. Like you have to be like, this is what I think. These are my thoughts, but do what you want with that information.
Absolutely.
But also, that doesn't excuse the events that had happened tonight with the hair pulling and the punching.
Woo,
so let's dive in.
Let's dive right on in.
So, obviously, I'm just thinking, Chloe, like, we don't need to talk about it right now, but I know sometimes when you get drunk, it's like, screw it, let's talk about it now. Never a good idea.
Never.
Never a good idea. But, like, this conversation was so just like, obviously they had way too much to drink and it was not going to be a constructive conversation at this point. But like, I don't think that Juliette had the right to do any of those things. It was just like, I feel like, I don't know. How do you guys feel about this?
It just came out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, I noticed Juliette this always happens. These conversations that escalate and get physical always happens when Juliette's drunk.
Yeah.
And that's like with most conversations in this group. Like it's just all over the place. But I saw it when she started talking, you know, her eyes were like batting in different directions. She's like, okay, so, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And then all of a sudden, she didn't need to throw that punch. I felt that punch in the back of Chloe's head. I was like, oh my gosh. And you know, I'm always team Chloe. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, I love the realest one in the group, and that's Chloe. So when somebody attacks her or whatever, I'm just like, whoa, like, don't do that to my Chloe. So, and Juliette, she's a physical one in the group. Like, she did that with Kelsey. She tried doing that with Kelsey a couple seasons ago, and now she's doing it with Chloe. And it didn't need to get to that point. I don't understand where it came from. I'm blown away.
Yeah, it kind of did just come like so quickly, but it's like, okay, alcohol was involved. Not that it's excusing it at all, but like, it was just like that conversation. Just if you're feeling a certain way, I feel like it's like best to just leave. You know what I mean? Like Chloe should have been like, listen, like, okay, I've had enough to drink. We need to discuss this tomorrow over coffee and then discuss what the terms of our friendship are, because you don't need to discuss the terms of your friendship like at a party or whatever. But still, it doesn't. It's like this situation is so confusing though, because it's like either way, like Juliette should not have come and hit her like that. And definitely should have pulled her hair and like continued to hit her. Like that was just so aggressive and unnecessary. And what I definitely did not appreciate was Robbie egging her on.
And exactly, it just literally got worse. I mean, Robbie was the one that pissed, and I'm more pissed at Robbie than the actual punch, which is so weird. Dude, you're like 35 years old. You're supposed to be the most mature one out of the group. Then you got Jared over there like asking him, why are you antagonizing it? Like, Robbie, what are you doing?
Well, also, like, I'd feel like as someone that loves another person, you want to get them out of a situation that's going to cause harm to them.
Exactly.
You know, like if you see Juliette throwing punches, you don't know what's coming her way. So in my head, I'm like, why is Amanda the one like controlling her and restricting her? It's like Robbie wanted it to happen.
Because Robbie is like immature. Robbie, I feel like he is drama. Like we said, if we're saying that he is the opportunist here, then he is taking his opportunity.
Right.
He wants to act like he's going to be on Juliette's side, so he felt like that was like having her back.
Right.
But at the same time, it was being messy. So like for me, a dude that tries to get in girl like drama for me is like a no. So yeah, he's I'm not into him obviously at all.
He's the worst. He's the worst. And and it was just weird, just how even after all the fights and the back and forth when Amanda was walked off or whatever, and when he, I guess, attempted to calm her down, he was just like, oh, you're better than this or whatever. But he's, again, that's the thing with this group. They always do that. They always contradict themselves. You're telling her, oh, you're better than this, but meanwhile, before this even happened, like, or while this was happening, you were literally cheering her on, like, yeah, fight, let's go.
Right.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then also, like, I thought it was so weird the way he was consoling her. He was like, you're too beautiful to cry. Stop crying. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. You're too pretty for this.
Yeah.
Really? That's the... Oh, right. Let's not forget. They were just commenting on how many likes and shares they got on a photo, right? Okay, so now let's get... That makes sense. That was, like, the weirdest way to console someone who's crying, who's upset.
Yeah.
Like, wait, like, how about, babe, it's okay. Like, I got your back. Like, this, that, and the third. Like, let's get you out of here. Let's go upstairs. Like, let's do something that's, like, constructive. Not like, you're too pretty to cry. I can't wait to take you to Greece so you can be pretty there, too. Like, it was, like, so weird.
That is so strange.
Such a creep. I can't.
That was weird.
Oh, he's
So
such
weird.
a cornball. I can't.
Well, and it's just kind of weird because it's like, okay, I'm just excited to take you away from these people. And it's like, those are supposed to be her friends. So it's just like...
Again, red flag.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's just like, oh, you're better than them. She's like, I know I am.
Right.
What is
I forgot she said that.
saying? Oh, my
Man.
gosh. They're so frustrating.
It's just one weird relationship after another. And speaking of that, the weird relationship I'm going into is the whole Carrot situation.
Hi.
Jeez, I forgot about them.
This is what kind of it's frustrating is that like they keep mentioning how like forcing Garrett to choose a side isn't a good look. Any person in a relationship will make you kind of choose a side. It's either me or your ex. Would you guys agree?
This is my thing.
Okay.
Kelsey, you talk way too much. I mean, sorry, Cara, you talk way too much about Kelsey.
Yeah.
You were obsessed. Be unbothered.
Yes.
Girls like it when you are unbothered.
Yeah.
Be unbothered. Like, you don't need to be so, like, oh my God, are you going to talk to, you're still talking to Kelsey. You're still talking to Kelsey. You're doing this. You're doing, so leave it alone. Like.
But it's crazy because now watching the end of this episode, I now know why she's doing it. And I feel like it's because she's trying to push Garrett away. Like, because that's what she was saying. Like, when she was talking to her friend at that massage, she's basically saying, like, I don't really want to be with him. So, like, do you think maybe she was pushing away in the first place?
She didn't even ever want to be with him.
Yeah.
When they were together, I didn't feel like she wanted to be with him.
Yeah.
I felt like the relationship was forced. It was really awkward. I think she just liked the attention, and he was really nice.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the way they communicate isn't even, like, constructive or makes
Never.
any sense whatsoever.
It's a fight.
It's so weird. Like,
Yeah.
Jarrett, right? No, Garrett? What's his
Garrett.
name?
Oh,
Garrett.
Yeah,
There's
no.
two. They all have the
so
one letter
similar.
difference. I can't. So Garrett, he never says anything. When he talks, he never says anything to me. I don't even know what he is saying. He could just be quiet and just look cute because you don't even make any type of sense at all. Oh, well, I didn't want to fight and I didn't want to do this and like I don't know. It's just the way they communicate to me. It's just so like nothing's being said.
No, and every conversation they have, that's why it goes nowhere because no one,
Exactly.
no one's deciding whether or not they should stay or go.
But no
it's
one's
just like in the air, like okay, bye.
Right, but no one's even making the effort to like change anything. So I think that's my thing where it's like, well, I'm unbothered, like this is really bothering me and like we're just not happy and this isn't working. Yeah, well, I don't want to break up. Okay, well then what do you want to do? Like, so tell me what it is that bothers you so that I could fix it. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. And honestly, I felt like Garrett was actually trying to be the mature one with the whole Kelsey thing. Like, I don't even think he wanted to talk to her.
No, he didn't. And that was the thing that was frustrating. But then that's Kelsey took that as like, oh, it's Cara's problem. So that's when she like grabbed her and was like wanting to talk about it. But it's all just a big mess.
They can just go away, both of them. I don't even care about Cara or Garrett. They could, I don't care.
I think, they just need to move on. It's just too much at this point. And I think that Garrett, like, they just, if you broke up with her in the first place and weren't talking to her, like, why do you want to be with her?
Right.
Exactly. And I don't know. It's so frustrating going back with what you said, just the communication and everything. I try so hard when I'm watching these conversations take place. I'm trying to dissect what is really the problem here with you guys. And it's like when they were talking, Garrett and Cara, I think the issue is, or so she says, she can't get over the fact that he broke up with her.
Yeah.
But he's trying to move forward, but she can't. So it's just like they don't really, there's no middle ground between them. And that's with a lot of these relationships that are so toxic. They don't meet halfway. They don't try to work it out. There's no effort.
Yeah.
So that's what's frustrating.
I think it's like you want what you can't have. So like she couldn't have him that summer because he wasn't attacking himself. You know what I mean? So then she was like, okay, well I'm gonna get him back and then I'll break up with him. It's like you want to be able to be the one with the upper hand. And so I feel like that's the kind of situation we're in right now. But like they definitely do not need to be together. We don't need to see them get back together because they just are not productive in a relationship. Last but not least, Kelsey and Jared, are they finally going to finish what they started last season?
I'm not mad at it.
I'm
not mad at it.
Would love to see this come into play. Why? Because she cheated on her, like, the love of her life boyfriend that she put on Instagram so much that, like, there was definitely something there. If you, like, made out with someone or didn't, whatever they did on that beach or whatever, you did that because you were intrigued. So, like, let's see this play out. Let's see if this is actually worth what had happened last summer, right?
I always liked Jared, too. I like him.
Too.
Me too.
I think he's a good guy.
He's literally the most mature person in the group.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to go fight. He was like in war.
He's
Seen things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I definitely I want Jared to find his happiness because I feel like he deserves it. And like, I just hope that this comes into something fun and not dramatic because I feel like he just needs something cool and fun and easy for the summer.
And if it doesn't work out between them, I'm just automatically going to blame Kelsey because she's trouble.
She is. Honestly, I think there was like one little thing, the Madison and Brandon situation, like talk, I thought that was like super awkward. And I really feel like Brandon, like, just mind your business.
Yeah.
And like, Madison, why did you even meet with him?
Yeah.
I know, we didn't talk about that, but I was just like, that was
weird
really
is that she did say, like, I wanted to, she said she needs to move on from Brandon. But I found that really strange because it's like, didn't you move on from Brandon 5 months ago when you started talking to Ish?
Right.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah. And it's like, what were you expecting to get out of that?
Exactly. Like, be unbothered.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, you're in a whole relationship. Like, why do you need to go talk to your ex? There's no closure was done when you got into another relationship.
That is so true. Like, I feel like it'd almost be alarming if my boyfriend was like, by the way, I gotta go talk to my ex. I'm like, what? Why?
Right. And he's 46 and he was like, okay.
Yeah. This is weird. All these relationships, man. So crazy.
I can't.
Oh, well, geez. So much fun. We're out of time.
I know.
Oh my gosh,
Really quick, some news and gossip for you guys. I'm pretty sure that Brandon and Camilla might be back together. If you go on to Juliette's Instagram, she shared a video of them at the same party together.
Ooh.
So I'm very curious to see where that goes. And make sure you follow them on Instagram because there's so much tea that is spilled every day.
Yes.
But I guess we have to wrap this up and we'll have to see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Ebone, where can they find you on Instagram?
You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Ebone Chatman 12.
And you guys can find me on Instagram at DJ_Beaulieu.
And hey guys, Allie Nasty here. Find me on Instagram at AllieGirl. And of course, follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms. We'll see you next week. Bye guys.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.